Hello, Demons, Fae, and those in between. This is Dizzy. I'm really sorry for being gone for so long. Unfortunately, work has been kicking me in the ass. So I haven't been able to do any recording or editing on literally anything. I have literally not had the chance to hop on my computer until yesterday. So I'm really sorry for that, but I will be continuing A Thing with Wings by PaperPuffin. This will be chapters 14 and 15. I hope you all enjoy, and my plan is to hopefully record a few more episodes, videos today, and have them posted throughout the week of the upcoming week until the 1st. I am going on a trip with my family, so I will quite literally not have access to my computer for another week. So my plan is to hopefully get at least one, maybe two more videos done today before I have to go into work. I don't know if that'll end up happening, but I guess you guys will find out. But yeah, let me get started on chapters 14 and 15. "Thanks for the excuse to get some fresh air," Danny said. He sounded grateful enough that Jason felt a little bad for using a stroll around the yard as a way to gather some intel. "Hey, trust me, I get how overwhelming the manor can be," Jason said. "And there are a lot of us in the house right now. It's easier in small doses for sure." "I could see that," Danny agreed. "But there's also something nice about the full house. It's all very alive feeling." The words were more melancholy than they should be. They were more like how Jason, who knew the feeling of death all too well, might say them. It brought troubling thoughts to mind. "Yeah, that can be nice about it. Sure, it's quieter, though, when I'm not here or when I'm at Roy's," Jason agreed, after maybe too long of a moment. "Is Roy that much more talkative when it's just the two of you? He wasn't overwhelming at the ballet." "Oh, no. Well, yeah, but it's more about his little girl, Leanne. She's 3.5 and an absolute handful most days. She's also at that age where she's pretty much narrating her own life in half-understandable babble, so there's just a lot of constant noise." Danny chuckled. "I bet. I stayed with a friend for a bit when I was stuck between jobs for a few months by a non-compete clause. Her one kid was that age at the time, and the oldest 5. I didn't know just how much of everything there was when having kids that age. It made me actually feel a little sorry for my parents." "You the youngest, oldest, or middle?" "Youngest. I've got one older sister, Jasmine," Danny said. "You could sorta say there's a half-sibling too. Also, I basically grew up with my best friend. There were some weeks I spent more time at his house than ours." "That close to him?" Jason asked. "Yeah, that, and it was easier sometimes to not be at home." "Oh." That implied some unfortunate things that Jason hadn't quite been expecting. Danny seemed pretty well adjusted. He was even good at handling Damien, but Jason supposed that maybe part of that might be because Danny had been through his own issues. Danny just shrugged. "I have a lifelong friend out of it. We don't see each other in person much these days since we're on other sides of the country, but we still talk plenty." Jason gave a soft hum and a bit later asked, "What made you end up in Gotham of all places?" "Wayne Enterprises, actually," Danny said. "Its rep in the industry as a place to work is unparalleled, really, especially for what I want to do." "And what's that?" "Help people," Danny said, honestly and with a crooked little smile. Which I know sounds cheesy, but I really wanted to create things that help people. It's not like I mind making a better cell phone battery or anything, but it's nice to know that I get to work on things that help not just with the little everyday issues, but also the big life-changing ones. The fact that those things get to help the city I live in too is a real plus. "Gotham has a way of getting to you like that," Jason said. "Yeah," Danny replied softly. gaze in the direction of the Gotham skyline. And then a scream split the air. Not a human scream, thankfully, but a repeated screech that had both them startling and looking around for the source. The screech turned into a warbling chuckling as Jerry emerged behind the landscaping. His tail was high and spread, his wing tips brushed the ground, and he was almost shockingly colorful. A turkey? Damien's. Damien has a turkey, Danny said slowly. And a cow, Jason said. Dog, cat, a few snakes. He tried to keep a rat, but Alfred stopped that pretty quickly. Danny rubbed at his temple. This is why he knew how to take care of wings, isn't it? Jason tried not to smile. That came up, huh? He's been sending Bruce information about it, Danny answered. Jerry made another loud warble and struck what Jason could only describe as a pose. So, does he do this often? His name is Jerry, and nope, Jason said and pulled out his phone. Jerry strutted closer to Danny, tail feathers shaking. Oh, Danny said, with the tone of someone for who a horrible realization was dawning. Can you, talk him down? I'm afraid I'm morally obligated to film this, Jason said somberly. He couldn't hold back his smirk any longer. Danny shot him a withering look and started to back up towards the manor. Really? Good luck. Well, fuck, Danny said, and then took off running. Jerry followed at top speed with a scream. Jason sent the video to Bruce. You have competition. I'm hiding in here from your children, Danny said, as he came into Bruce's study. He had a tray of tea and snacks in hand, so he must have been sent by... He had a tray of tea and snacks in hand, so he must have been sent up by Alfred. That's more than fair, considering, Bruce said with a little smile. Danny just sighed and set the tray down. You have video, don't you? Bruce nodded. Jason sent one and Tim the other. They're very moving. Yes, Jerry's love for me is eternal, clearly, Danny drawled. If only Jerry's father would approve the union, Bruce said. Danny gave a little hum as he poured the tea. Alas, Damien does seem very resistant to the idea, if the lecture he gave Jerry is any indication. Cream? Sugar? A little cream, thank you, Bruce said, and got up from his desk. Jerry was being very forward, so the lecture may have been a little deserved, but who can blame him with those wings? Mr. Wayne, Danny said with an exaggerated gasp. Are you saying you're enamored with my wings? Bruce reached out and brushed his fingertips through Danny's wings. He could play it off, of course. It could just be part of the rest of their banter. But did he want to? He enjoyed having Danny around. The man seemed to just fit with the family. Overall, the children certainly seemed to like him, which was a miracle. And, well, Bruce found that he quite liked Danny too. Maybe it was time to take a little risk. Yes, Bruce said, though the wings are hardly the only thing that I'm enamored with. Danny blushed so quickly that Bruce was honestly a little concerned about Danny's blood pressure. Oh? Is it that surprising? You're kind, intelligent, and considerate. You protected my children. Even before that, you were gentle and understanding with them. You have a sense of humor, yet seem to be able to handle just about anything, Bruce said, which was almost an understatement with what Danny had been through lately. And, more shallowly, you are very attractive, with or without the wings. Oh, come on. You of all people can't say someone else is attractive, Danny sputtered. Oh? Have you not looked at a mirror recently? You're the type of person that devastatingly handsome was coined for, Danny said with a gesture at Bruce, which is something that I just said out loud. I suppose you want to fire me so that I can run away to a remote island or somewhere? Bruce chuckled. Fortunately, I don't have that sort of power over your job. All that would fall to Lucius. Fortunately? Danny repeated. Uh-huh. It means that there's no company policy we're breaking if we were to date. And there's no pressure for you to say yes if you're opposed to the idea, Bruce said. He very much wanted to make that clear. Between the press, my reputation, the large family, and the recent rogue attack, I know there are a number of reasons to be opposed to the idea. Bruce, Danny said, before Bruce could continue. Are you trying to talk me into dating you or out of it? Well, Bruce cleared his throat. I don't want to assume anything or imply that I am some sort of catch, because I hardly am. I am a stubborn man. I have a rather deep-seated anxiety that verges on paranoia at times. It has and can make me overbearing when I try to protect the people I care about. I come with 6 children, almost as many pseudo-children, and a frankly terrifyingly competent butler who's like a father to me. Every relationship I'm in, and not actually in, ends up in the paper. The spiral of words, of reasons he wasn't good enough for someone like Danny, was cut short as Danny pushed himself up on his tiptoes across the coffee table to press his lips to Bruce's. Bruce sighed softly into the kiss, as it put a sudden stop to the unwanted thoughts. Danny left his hand on Bruce's cheek as he pulled back a little. Too forward? Danny asked. His words and eyes alike were filled with nerves. Not at all, Bruce said quickly. He followed his words up with a soft kiss as proof. I am sorry about rambling like that. As I said, deeply anxious. Anxious is okay. You're aware of it. I'm not exactly the paragon of mental health either. I've been going to therapy since I was 18, Danny said. His thumb gently stroked Bruce's cheek. First off, fuck the press. I can deal with it. Second off, your family is huge and wonderful and not at all something that would stop me. Not unless they hated me. They certainly do not hate you, Bruce assured him. Third off, Danny continued with a little smile, I guess the anxiety, which we've covered. And fourth off, I am very stubborn and have no problem telling someone to budge off if they're being too much. So yeah, we might have lines to find out, and some of those we'd find out by crossing them and fucking up, but that's just a part of dating, isn't it? If any of them become lines we can't deal with, well, we're old enough that I hope we could end things maturely. I have a very good track record of remaining friends with my exes, for better or worse, Bruce said. Better or worse? Harvey Dent, as one example. Ah, Danny said with a little nod. I've heard that he's been doing better, at least. That, or he's planning something big, Bruce said with a sigh. But even I know that I should stop talking about an ex with someone that just kissed me. Generally a good rule, Danny agreed with a little smile. Does this mean we're going to try dating? If I didn't talk you out of it, Bruce joked. Like I said, I'm stubborn, Danny said. But as much as I adore them, I expect at least one dinner with no children once my wings are gone. Deal, Bruce agreed easily and leaned down to give Danny a proper kiss. That was the end of chapter 14, and we finally got kisses from the old men. Yay! Sorry. I'm just really happy. I love it when the ship finally kisses. It's great. Anyway, let's continue with chapter 15. Why are we shoved in Jason's apartment again? Duke asked. Because it was mine or Dick's, Jason grumbled. He rebalanced Leanne in his arms so that he could lean over and place the tray of fruit on the coffee table. And so Jason's it is, Duke agreed quickly. Hey, my place is fine, Dick groused. I'm not 18 anymore. I know how to keep a place now. Everyone else quickly filled their mouths with a piece of fruit. Damien and Tim are too attached to Danny, Jason explained. Tim froze. Guys? I'm right here? Yep, Dick chirped. But you like answers enough to go against your own emotions. Yeah, okay, fine, fair. Tim sighed and slumped back into the chair he had claimed. So this is about Danny? I don't trust him, Jason said bluntly as he wiped some juice from Leanne's chin. You don't trust him? Tim repeated. Jason gestured to Tim. See? Exactly that. Exactly what? Tim asked. Tim, I say this with at least some love. You are the most paranoid bastard. Pretty sure Jack was my father, Tim interrupted. Yeah, but have you ever actually tested your DNA against Bruce's? Duke asked. What? Tim, Dick, and Steph all asked back with varying degrees of confusion. Anyways, Jason continued insistently, Tim is the most paranoid bastard I have ever met short of Bruce, and he just trusts Danny. Tim opened his mouth to argue, then closed it with a snap, which really said everything. Jason tried not to smirk. Bruce started dating Danny, and he told us. He told us himself. Has he ever just come out and told us about anyone he was dating before? Maybe he's learned? Duke offered, then wilted under the dubious stares. I mean, it's just that he's been really committed to his therapy. He's even trying to talk me into going. Don't buy it, Jason said. Dick frowned at him. Bruce is going to therapy? No, Dick Stick. Don't tell Roy I said that, honey. Jason added, as Leanne to an aside. I don't think it's just from therapy. There's something weird about Danny, and it's affecting people. Bird, Cass pointed out, with a wiggle of an apple slice. She handed it to him, who sighed but ate it obediently. Jason rolled his eyes. Beyond the bird thing. But he doesn't want to be, Tim said. He shrugged when everyone looked at him. Weird, that is. He doesn't want to be weird. You all weren't there. When he protected me and Damien, he was so scared of transforming. He was scared of what was happening to him, but he was more scared of what Damien and I would think of him. But he still changed to protect us. He became what he fears for us. So, yeah, I know he's weird, and of course I have questions, but I guess I'm aware of how much pressing could hurt him. I don't want to do that. Not when he put a lot at risk to protect us. There was quiet, and then Dick cooed. Oh my god, is little Timmy growing up? Tim sighed and flicked his oldest brother off. The worst part was, Jason got, not wanting to be the freak that life made you. That didn't mean Danny was okay, though. What about the language? That might be LOA related. See, I don't think it is, Tim argued. And I don't think so because of Duke's reaction. Mine? Oh. Duke looked thoughtful. But is it that much better if it's godly? We trust you, Steph pointed out simply. And you're like almost max fuckery there. Steph! Jason snapped. Stephanie cringed. Sorry, that's an adult word, Leanne. Jason sighed and held Leanne up into the air. She gave a giggling squeal. You are going to be the most foul-mouthed kindergartner, and Roy is going to despair. Yes, he is, Jason cooed. Adorable dad Jason aside, Steph said. If we accept Duke, which, of course, we love our cinnamon roll, then there's no reason not to accept Danny if he's godly. Yeah, sure, there are bad gods, but he hasn't done anything bad. Like, the dude is working on producing water filtration systems for cheap home use. And that was what he was doing before he was even on our radar. That doesn't scream evil to me, and I should know. I dated Tim. What the... fish, Tim said, shooting a glance at Leanne. Is it beat on Tim Day or something? Jason grinned. Oh, Timmy, that's every day. Tim bared his teeth back in a soundless snarl. If you weren't holding my niece right now... Jason kissed Leanne on the forehead. Who's a good human shield? Yes, you are. The ringing of Jason's phone kept him from doting on his not daughter any further. He fished it out of his back pocket and checked the name before answering. "What's up?" "Hi, Snookums. How are you?" Roy asked. "Well, if you call me that one more time, I'll have to shoot you, so..." Jason let that trail off into a clear implication. "Right, well, this job is bigger than I thought it would be, so how do you feel about paying backup?" Roy asked. "You left Leanne with me," Jason pointed out. "So?" Roy asked, obviously slightly distracted. "Go drop her off with Bruce and head out from there. You know he loves any chance to babysit her." "Danny's still there," Jason said. "Demon Brat hasn't let him leave yet." "So?" Roy repeated. "Everyone but you likes the dude, and Leanne is a great judge of character. If she bites him, you know that he's bad news, and you can hold it over everyone else's head." "Roy?" "Nope. See you in an hour. Max." He hung up the phone before Roy could say anything else. "So?" Dick said with a little smirk. "Back to the manor, then?" "Ah, hi there," Danny finally managed to say. He gave a little wave of his fingers at the small face staring at him around Jason's legs. He also tucked his wings closer against his back. The wings had to be what had them looking at him with that sort of shocked wonder like that. It wasn't every day. "New grandpa?" Danny blinked. Sorry, what?" The child dashed out from behind Jason and over to him where they stood at his feet with their hands up. What else was he supposed to do? He picked them up, perching them carefully on one of his arms, and kept his other hand behind their back to balance them. Unconsciously, one of his wings curled around them, but they didn't even seem to notice. They were too busy pressing their small chubby hands against his cheeks. "Have Grandpa Bruce," which came out more like Boos, "and Grandpa Ollie, and Great-Pa Alfie, Alfred." They explained. "You're old like Uncle Bruce and Ollie, but not so old like Alfie. And you're here, and that means you're a new grandpa. What's your name?" Danny could feel the blush heating up his face. "I'm Danny, but..." They threw their arms up in the air, and Danny scrambled to keep them balanced. "Grandpa Danny!" A bit panicked, Danny looked up at Jason, only to freeze. Jason wasn't amused, or confused, or embarrassed. No, Jason was afraid. Danny set the little one down and squatted to their height. "Hey, little kinglet. Why don't you go say hello to Grandpa Bruce, and then I'll be right over, okay?" "Okay," they shouted before they ran off to Bruce, shouting his name. "Is that Leanne?" Bruce asked, with an exaggerated gasp, and scooped her up. Danny turned back to Jason, his smile drooping. "I'd never hurt her, I promise. I wouldn't hurt any child. I know that this other form can be frightening. It frightens me too. If you want me to leave the manor, I'd get it. It would hurt, but he'd get it. He'd been meaning to leave after all for days now, but there was always something stopping him. Danny let there always be something to stop him. He'd gotten the best sleep he'd had in years at the manor, and it wasn't lonely. It was never lonely." Jason sighed. It was a heavy sound. "I don't want to drive you off, but you're afraid of me." "Yes," Jason agreed easily, unapologetically. Danny didn't blame him. "Leanne is important to me. I know I'm not actually her dad or anything, but I've been around since she was basically dropped on Roy's doorstep. The others can take care of themselves well enough if you did something, but she couldn't. Some of that's about you, some of that's just how I feel about her with anyone I don't know that well. You can't believe how much looking into people I did finding a preschool for her." Danny tucked his hands into his pockets and gave a little shrug. It was okay. This was fine. I bet I maybe can believe it. I've got a 2-year-old niece, and calling my sister a bit intense is an understatement. I'm being serious. If you need me to leave, at least while she's here, I will. I'll leave if that will make you feel like she's safe. That's more important. If that's too much, I'll just stay scarce. I can pretty easily make sure that I'm not left alone with Leanne. There was a long, quiet moment of Jason watching Danny, who made sure to meet his gaze steadily. Then Jason shook his head. You deserve to be here too. There was a harsh electronic sound, and Jason yanked his phone out of his pocket. Shit, I have to go. Danny watched as Jason hurried over to where Leanne was showing Bruce a flower and bent down by his little girl. Danny watched as Jason hurried over to where Leanne was showing Bruce a flower and bent down by the little girl. Danny quietly went the other way. As soon as the doors to the yard closed, Danny pulled his hands out of his pockets. Fine black feathers dusted his skin. This concludes a reading of A Thing with Wings by PaperPuffins, chapter 14 and 15. Oh, there's a lot going on in these 2 chapters. First of all, I want to say that we finally have the old men kissing. Hooray! On the other hand, though, we have Jason being very suspicious. But, I mean, it makes sense. The entire Bat family canonically has paranoia issues, so the fact that all of them were just like, yeah, this random person who turned into a bird, okay to have around. So I love that Jason is, like, questioning things, and I actually haven't finished reading all of this, so I'm really excited because I haven't finished it, so you guys kind of get to read along with me. But I'm really excited to see where the author takes this, because I really do want Danny to be incorporated into the family, because it's what he and all of them deserve. But Jason's feelings are very valid, and Danny's feelings are also very valid. He connected with all of the Bat fam really quickly as well. So when he's being excluded from something like this, yeah, it would hurt my feelings too, buddy. So I'm sorry, I've talked a lot, but I really like these 2 chapters, and I'm really excited to get back to doing this. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the intro, but I'm going to try to get a few chapters done today, because I do have tomorrow off from work, but I am also going on a week-long trip with my family. So I'm going to try to get as much done as I can today and tomorrow for you guys, so that you have some content while I'm gone, since the last time I posted was 11 days ago. I am so sorry for that. I didn't mean to, I promise. The work is just being work. And yeah, so anyway, please share your thoughts on this golden piece, and don't forget to reach out to the original author, always linked in the description, to express your thanks. In addition, let me know if you have any recommendations. I am always looking to add to my hoard. And of course, thank you all for listening to this Dragon's Hoard. Hello, this is future Dizzy. I'm recording some more content for this. So update, I got sick. I had to go into work early yesterday. They called me in early, about 2.5 hours early. That was lovely. And it sucked. Sorry. So unfortunately, I was planning on getting this video edited and then getting a recording and editing for at least one more video done today, but my list of things has increased, and because I am feeling sick, it would take a lot longer to edit my audio, just because I probably am destined to cough and sneeze and sniffle, so I'm so sorry. But I'm going to get this one out, and I plan on hopefully being better by the time I get back. And at the very least, I'm going to record a video, even if I am a little sick, and worst case scenario, I will re-record it when I'm feeling better. But that is the plan, and I assure you it will get done. I will probably have my friend, so real quick, I have a friend, they actually are in my channel description, their Instagram, I should say. They are the ones that helped me make the logo that I have, and they're actually working on a banner for me right now. But they actually texted me the other day and are like, hey, how's it going? So worst case scenario, they will probably yell at me if I don't post when I get back. So I'm going to try to have this out today. I'm making this on Sunday, so if it comes out on Sunday, sweet. If it comes out the next day, it's because I panicked. I don't know. Point is, I'm really sorry, but unfortunately my sinuses has decided that I am not going to make content. So yeah. Anyway, this is, again, getting very long. It's over 30 minutes of me just yapping. So, okay. Thank you very much for your guys' support. Seriously, your comments mean the world to me. It motivates me so much whenever I'm in a funk and I just can't get up and do things. Seeing your comments really helps. So please keep them coming. They're so amazing. I love talking to you guys. So thank you so much for that. But that's it from Future Dizzy. So I'm going to take my leave. Thank you all so much.